Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished participants, it is my great honor today to welcome you to this quite important conference on behalf of Croatian Academy of Engineering and on behalf of CAETS. As you all probably know, CAETS is an international organization that binds together academies of engineering from around the world. It is an independent organization, and one of the conditions for the membership is that there should be only one academy per country. And currently, we are having 31 members. And after tomorrow, I hope we'll have 2 more. Poland will be returning, and Singapore will join CAETS. CAETS was founded in 1978 under the name that I will not read. It changed name in 1985 to Council of Academies, and in 2000 this international was added at the beginning. Croatian Academy of Engineering was founded in 1993. It celebrated its 30 years of existence exactly this year. We are a member of CAETS since year 2000, and this is our current inventory of members. Well, I mostly appreciate those 59 at the end, because those are members from industry which make us possible. We are not funded by the government. We don't get a single euro from the government budget, and without them we would be non-existing organization. These are our departments. It's 14 of them. Of course, I will not go through all of them, but you see that they cover all branches of engineering and technological sciences. As for Croatia, where we welcome you warmly today, this is a small country, South Central Europe, let's say less than 4 million of population, less than 60,000 square kilometers. It's been independent since 1991, member of UN since 1992, and EU member since 2013. As of this year, we are officially in Schengen, so some of you had a fortune to not showing the passports when entering the country, and we are also using euro as a currency. Life here began some 130,000 years ago. There is an important finding of Neanderthal settlement near Zagreb. We had a long period of a Roman government. This, what you see on the slide, is not Rome, it's not Colosseum, but this is arena in the city of Pula. And it is said that we are here since 7th century. This iconic image of our painter Oton Iveković depicts the arrival of Croats from the north of the Europe and their first glimpse at the Adriatic Sea. This is 14 centuries of history on a single slide. We started as an independent country, then we united with Hungary and lived, let's say 400 years under their rule. Next 400 years were spent under the rule of Habsburg monarchy. All that time, well, when other European countries had luxury to fight amongst each other, we were fighting as ante murale Christianitatis, the forefront of Christianity. We are actually defending the rest of the Europe against the Turks. After the First World War, when Austro-Hungarian Empire dissolved, we joined with Serbs and Slovenes into a kingdom which was soon to be called Yugoslavia. We had not so independent state of Croatia during the World War II, which was collaborating with Axis powers, but at the same time, Croats were in huge numbers fighting for the most efficient resistance movement in occupied Europe. Yugoslav partisans with the power which, well, gained strength of 650,000 armed fighters by the end of 1944, and were organized in 4 army groups and 52 divisions. So it was rather logical that will continue as Yugoslavia after the war until the independence in 1991, which regrettably didn't come without the war. There are a lot of nice sites in Croatia. Here you see and recognize probably the Plitvice Lakes National Parks, which are 16 cascading lakes in very beautiful nature. This is Kornati National Park, which is 89 islands in a crystal clear sea. You probably recognize the city of Dubrovnik, city of Split, which is the site of the palace of Emperor Diocletian, and the neighboring Roman settlement, which is called Salona, very near Split. Well, engineering has a long history here in Croatia also. I will mention just a few notable gentlemen that are, well known all abroad. The first was maybe the Faust Vrančić, who was a polymath and who in his books, New Machines, described a lot of invents that are, for example, the chain bridge depicted here, the parachute, there are many others. Then we had Ivan Vučetić, who was the inventor of dactyloscopy, the art of identifying people by their fingerprints. Slavoljub Penkala was the inventor of a mechanical pen. In Croatian, his name is still a synonym for the mechanical pen. You also know this guy, probably the most famous of them, Nikola Tesla. He is arguably the most prominent, the best engineer of all time in the whole world. He was a Serb by origin, but Croat by his homeland, which he often said that he is equally proud of his Serb country and Serb origin and his Croat homeland. These are just some of his inventions, and we are still using, of course, the alternating current, no matter how fiercely Thomas Edison and the guys were opposing this type of electricity. As for the Zagreb, the capital of Croatia, it has a population below 700,000. Together with all surroundings, it's about 1,217,000. The first appearance of Zagreb in historical records was dated back in 1094. Depicted this golden bull of 1242, which was given to Zagreb by Hungarian King Bela IV, who was hiding from Mongols and find refuge here in Zagreb. Okay, Mongols then conquered Zagreb and burned it to the ground. He fled further, but he was some kind of grateful, and he gave the status of a royal independent city to the Zagreb. And also we are proud that our university dates back to 1669. These are few sites of Zagreb. This is the central square, the square of Ban Jelačić, Viceroy, actually is the title in English. As we said, we are always under someone, and we had Viceroy instead of our own head of a state. This is in time of Advent, which is a very nice time at the end of the year with a lot of life on the streets. This is a famous farmers market called Dolac within the reach, maybe 15 minutes or 17 minutes walk from here. I suggest if you have time to visit it during morning hours. This is the oldest part of Zagreb, the upper town, where everything started with a lot of old buildings. Nowadays, it's also the seat of the government and the parliament. Here we can see actually the masterpiece of urban planning, something that we called a Lenucci horseshoe because of the shape. If you see this green around the center, this is a system of parks which was developed at the break of 20th century, so at the end of the 19th and at the beginning of the 20th century, and of course the final resting place of many citizens of Zagreb, Mirogoj Cemetery, which is really a sight worth seeing. But so much about Croatia, so much about Zagreb. I would like to go back to the topic of the conference, and it's what? It's obvious that the climate is changing. It has no doubt about, we can have no doubts about that. We have more forest fires, wildfires, droughts, floods than ever. This is an image of Zagreb this summer. This is July 2023, a supercell storm. I'm unfortunately not very young anymore, but never have I in my whole life seen such a storm and such damage here in the, let's say, a mild climate. It was horrible. It lasted not long, but it left 2 dead people here in the middle of the city. And this is how it looked where I walk almost every day. I have a hike. I call it 2 creeks because we have some nice streams flowing to the suburbs of Zagreb. A few thousand of trees fell down and did a lot of damage. So the alarm bell has been ringing for a while. And we are just waking up, slowly but certainly. It is, I think, a last moment to act, and there is a lot of declarative approval, I would say, to these acts that would mitigate the climate change. But I strongly feel that decision makers are often acting with that fig sign in their pocket, declaratively supporting, but actually trying not to do anything here. So if this conference about air mobility today raises the awareness of a need to change, to do some concrete actions, it will make me a very happy person. This conference is held under the auspices of 2 Croatian ministries, under the auspices of City of Zagreb and University of Zagreb, and we are grateful for their support. We are also, of course, maybe even more grateful for the sponsors because they gave money and they made this nice lunch outside possible. We had some sponsors, we had some donators, and we had some green partners of our conference. So I hope you will enjoy this conference. I hope you will find it very interesting. I hope that we will all learn something. And I certainly hope that you will also enjoy Croatia, that you will enjoy the city of Zagreb, that you will like it so much that eventually you will come back to see us again. So thank you for your attention, and I will like to give floor to representative of the mayor of Zagreb, the head of Department of Education, Mr. Luka Juroš. So Luka, the floor is yours.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much to Professor Mornar for the wonderful introductions. I would like to welcome you all to Zagreb and to Croatia on behalf of the mayor of the city of Zagreb, Mr. Tomislav Tomašević, who unfortunately could not join here today. You've heard a little bit about the city of Zagreb, and I have to say, unfortunately, the city of Zagreb, much of Croatia and much of Europe and the world, has been rather complacent about the impact of the modern economy and modern society on the green issues. And I'm very happy to be part of city administration that has been in power in the city of Zagreb for the past 2 years, that is taking these challenges seriously and is making some serious headways in addressing them. Zagreb is currently in the process of the largest, not just reconstruction after the earthquake that you can see in the streets of the downtown Zagreb, but also in the largest green investments that the city has ever seen. Just this year, the number of installed solar power plants on the rooftops of public institutions in Zagreb has surpassed everything that has been installed in the past. Apart from this focus on the green, clearly the issue of the e-mobility is the top of the agenda. I hope you didn't have a chance to get stuck in the morning rush hour traffic in Zagreb, but we are working seriously on introducing technological advances, including automatic regulation of traffic and other changes. But apart from that, the city of Zagreb is also supporting a major multiple €100 million investment in robotic traffic, supported by one of the 2 unicorns of Croatia. The company is probably well known. I've seen it on the agenda for Wednesday morning as an optional visit for you. So it's the Rimac Technology, and the company is parented by Rimac Technology, but that's the company that's associated and working on electrification and automatization of traffic in Zagreb, and well, clearly the world. The other company is in Istria, but both of them are the technological companies, right? So Croatia has 2 unicorns, both are in tech, and I hope as a host of CAETS this year, we'll have a chance to welcome you again, not only for the sights and sounds and gastronomy of Croatia, but also potentially as partners in other research or some other projects. With that, I wish you a wonderful stay in Zagreb, and thank you very much for coming here.
Okay, thank you, Luka, for your kind words, and I would like now to introduce Professor Neven Dujic, who is the head of the organizing committee of this conference, to present the energy report, which was done by him and a lot of other scientists belonging to CAETS during the last year. Thank you.
Hello, dear participants. We have worked diligently during last year, this year actually, to produce a report on e-mobility, and it's here in front of us. You can use the QR code to download it. The idea of the report was to cover areas not covered by previous 2 energy reports, and to try to capture bottlenecks which will happen in this decade. Transport is probably the most difficult sector to decarbonize, and this can only be done by integrating it into energy sector. Also, why we chose e-mobility as the topic of this conference in Zagreb is exactly because one of our unicorns, as a representative from city of Zagreb mentioned, is in the topic of e-mobility, of producing high-end electric cars. And we find that as a very special success for a small tourist country, proving that we don't have to do only tourism, that we can do some really high-tech things. But also, the report recognizes that e-mobility means reshuffling the cards. The incumbent automotive industry may not be the winner in this battle, and there is place for newcomers on the market. The report was chaired by Chris Hendrickson and me, but the chapters were written by lead authors from different academies of science. Here you can see also the structure of the report. I will go back a little bit later into that. The working group members, around 20 of us, gave really excellent participation in this process, and now we are also hoping to get your comments to this report. Electrification of transport is coming. We can see S-curve being started to form. We can also notice that there is around 50% growth per year. It is continuing this year also. And some countries like Norway already sell mostly electric cars. The first chapter of the project is about batteries. That was led by an author from China, Lian Yubo, and it has shown clearly that batteries will continue to develop very quickly, new chemistries and energy density, so there is a need of a lot of research in that area, cooperation between industry and academia, and this will result in a significant change in the way we drive. Also, it is very important to notice that without integration of power system, which will be mainly powered by intermittent variable renewables like wind and solar, and smart charging can increase the integration of these sources into the energy system. So we need to integrate heating, transport, power, hydrogen, everything together. And the critical thing is to have smart, slow chargers added to each parking place in order to enable this power transport coupling. Also, wholesale price and retail price coupling are crucial to enable this demand response. The car industry will confront significant challenges, and only those that diligently move into transition now or have already moved will have a chance to survive. Many sectors in the current car industry will disappear. There will be no engines, no transmission, no exhaust system, no tank and fuel distribution, but there will be a whole new lot of topics coming. Also, will hydrogen be a fuel? That's a question. Most probably not for personal cars, because it's much more efficient to do it by batteries directly. Regarding long-distance heavy transport and military use, it may be competitive to use hydrogen, but it might be more practical to use e-fuels. We will see what happens. Regarding the e-fuels, ammonia will most probably be the fuel of choice for maritime transport, and for aviation transport we will need some carbon-based e-fuels. Modal shift can also happen, help in the process by cycling and walking. In cities we can reduce significantly the carbon of transport sector, but we will see how much this model shift can actually help in future, because that depends on layouts of our cities also. In developing countries, it's starting. In Latin America, the process has started quite quickly. There are growth rates of above 100% of sales of electric cars in all countries. In Africa, there is insufficient regulatory mechanisms, and there will be need for help. In South and Southeast Asia, we can expect that 2- and 3-wheelers will be at the frontier of the electrification. Regarding the fire safety, the fire hazard in EV cars, it's not higher than for internal combustion engine cars. It happens actually less often, but the problem is that the fire is new type, new chemistries, and it's having higher heat release rates. So there will be need to train people for new emergency response. With this, I would like to thank you for listening to this report. We are expecting your comments by the end of October, and I would like to now invite Axel Meissen, the chair of the sequel report of the previous energy efficiency report, to present the future CAETS work. Axel, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Nevin, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for the opportunity to speak just very, very briefly. And I'd like to thank the previous two speakers for the introduction to Croatia. I very welcome that, and also to the city of Zagreb. I've been given just 3 minutes to talk about the subject that I will address here, and I'm pleased to do so. Many of you will know that over the course of the past 2 years, the energy community of CAETS has been working and ultimately produced a report which is called Towards Low GHG Emissions from Energy Use in Select Industry Sectors. This report is now on the CAETS website, and it covers the use of energy in 7 major sectors, which you see here on the right, ranging from food and agricultural systems through oil and gas, chemicals, cement, iron and steel, buildings, and information technology and data centers. And the time horizon of this work was up to about the year 2040. But it became very evident as we were doing this work that there was a need to look beyond the 2040 time horizon. And that is what we have embarked on now. And we call it the Sequel Project. It's just a working title to indicate what comes after this particular project. And the time horizon is beyond the year 2040, approximately. I might add that we will likely add an industry sector, which is actually the integration of the 7, so that we recognize very, very clearly the interconnection. What is it that we are trying to do in this current work is basically to answer this question, namely, what actions are needed now in the near future so that sufficient technologies are available to realistically deployable to ensure low GHG emissions from energy use in selected sectors beyond that year 2040. So the time horizon is beyond 2040. The idea is to identify the actions that should be considered to be taken, but clearly, in order to identify the actions that are to be taken, one has to understand the forces and the factors that will drive the longer-term future. So our work is focused on those 7 sectors, plus the interconnection between them. Our focus is the longer term, and we will use foresight approaches in order to identify the forces and factors. We will identify the likely scenarios that these forces and factors produce, and we will always be looking for more than one scenario, because there's a multiplicity of futures and which we cannot predict which one exactly will happen. And then, very importantly, we will look at what strategies should be considered that would be robust, that is, would be effective to accommodate all of the scenarios and achieve the overall desirable action that we want, namely a sustainable environment in the longer term. That's our goal. We will undertake this work in the course of the next approximately 10 months. We will report out at the next CAETS meeting, which will take place in early July in Helsinki, Finland. And I would like to invite you, if you have an interest in this type of work, that is future-oriented work, applied to these 7 sectors and applied to technology, to let me know. We're still looking for members to participate in our individual working groups. And you can contact me, but just, I noticed my email address is incorrectly written, so now you have to be really alert. It's actually Axel, it is correct, axel@meissen.ca. So please drop me a note or come and see me, and I would be delighted to give consideration to seeing your inclusion into this future-oriented study. Thank you very much.
Okay, with this, we are closing the opening session, and now we are moving to the first panel on integration of energy and transport sectors.